Good financial management in your projects is vital. So in this video, I want to give you 5 tips about how to do it well. Good financial management starts with your business case. So my first tip is to engage your stakeholders in your business case. Now, of course, that does mean engaging them in creating the business case. And indeed, my preference is to get departmental heads actively engaged in drafting components of the business case, or at least get them to set up teams or delegate people from their teams to engage with you and contribute to your business case. But my top tip here is to really get their commitment to the finished business case. And the way that we do this is we get all the department heads or the directors or the senior vice presidents or the people who lead the teams or the functions that are affected by the business case into a room together once the business case is complete. In advance of this meeting, make sure that they will have copies of the business case and been able to issue their comments to you and have them reflected in the final draft. Take that final draft to the meeting. Take them through any information that you need to, brief them on it, get their questions, ask questions of them. And when you're satisfied that everything has been covered, look each of your prime stakeholders in the eye and say, do you commit to this business case? You've participated in creating it, you've asked your questions, you've had them answered. Are you now committed to this business case? By this stage, they have no real way to say no. So when they say yes, here's what you do. You take a beautifully printed final copy of the business case and you pass it to the first person around the room and say, please sign the cover of this to indicate your acceptance of this business case. And then you pass it to the next person, and the next, and the next. What you've got at the end is a definitive document with the cover bearing all of the signatures of all of the department heads or vice presidents or senior directors. That way you can enter this not only as a formal governance document of the project, but a formal organizational governance document. This will keep those department heads, vice presidents or directors absolutely on board. They can't back out at any point now. They have committed. Tip number 2. Projects succeed or fail on the quality of the estimates that you make for schedules and for budget. If you get the estimates wrong, then the project cannot succeed at meeting those deadlines and those budget constraints. And therefore estimating is a very important skill. We don't have time in this video to go deep into estimating, so my top tip here is to never estimate once, always estimate at least twice. A tip I learned from my father many years ago is measure twice, cut once, and the same principle applies here. A single estimate of a single figure could be right, it could equally well be wrong. Find some mechanism within your project to do estimates twice. For example, if your principal way of estimating is bottom up, then do a top-down estimate as well, separately. If you get the same sort of answer, then you have increased confidence. If you get a very different answer, you can explore the reasons and understand the problem more precisely. Or maybe you've used expert judgment as the basis for estimating. Do it again using parametric methods, using data from previous projects. Again, if you get the same sort of answer, lots of confidence. If you get a very different answer, then you can explore the reasons why. And a final example is my favourite. If at all possible, give your estimating process a red team review. Keep the smartest people out of the estimating process, and then when you've done the estimates, hand them over to that smart team and give them the challenge of finding every possible mistake, false assumption, or misapplication of a process or a technique. Get them to pull apart your estimates with a fine-tooth comb. A good red team review will uncover lots of reasons to review your estimates and to refine them and make them better. Tip number 3 is to use a stage gate process to manage the release of budget on your project. Why is this so valuable? It's because it means that your budget can never run ahead of your project process. You're always going to ensure that you release budget when the work has been done. And you're only going to release budget when you are confident that the next tranche of work is worthwhile. This is more about governance than it is about budget control, but the two come together here very nicely. And after all, if we're not looking after the budget, that takes away one of the key imperatives of good governance. Again, we don't have time in this video to go through the stage gate process. We've done that in other videos. Do take a look at them. Tip number 4 is to recognize that the purpose of your procurement process is twofold. Purpose number 1 is to minimize cost. And purpose number 2 is to minimize risk. And therein lies the problem, because these two are contradictory purposes. You can't minimize risk and cost at the same time. Therefore, we need to recognize that the challenge of creating a good procurement strategy is to achieve the right balance between risk minimization and cost minimization. Alan Shepard was the 5th man to walk on the moon. He was the commander of Apollo 14. Shepard once mused that when you're sitting on top of a rocket about to lift off or orbiting Earth, it sometimes occurs to you that all of this stuff was built by the lowest bidder on a government contract. Is that really the legacy you want for your project? Now, I don't know about the procurement for the Apollo program, but for me, you need to think about what is at stake and what is the value of minimizing risk against the value of minimizing cost. Tip number 5 is that earned value management is a lot more straightforward than most people assume. People are put off by anything that involves maths and formulas, but they really aren't that difficult. But if you can't cope with the level of maths and the type of formulas that you find in earned value analysis, then you probably oughtn't be managing a project. Certainly not commercially. Again, this video is not the right place to talk about how earned value management works and what those formulas are. But what I will say is that the real challenge isn't the maths, it's not the formulas, it's not the principles, it's actually finding the right things to measure to actually assess the earned value. They need to give you an accurate enough representation, but be easy enough to measure accurately so that it doesn't get in the way of the project and allows you to conduct your earned value management efficiently and get results that you can have a high confidence in. So the skill of earned value management is to apply your judgment to find the right things to measure. These 5 tips have been inspired by the content of our Kindle exclusive ebook on project financial management. Do take a look at it. It has 5 chapters, and those chapters look at the project business case, project estimation, project cost management, project procurement, and earned value and the basics of earned value management. It's priced competitively on all Amazon stores. Do take a look. And if you've enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to get a message in your email as soon as we publish a new video. And until the next time, Take care.